Okay, hopefully you have your program saved by whatever name as a spin-off. And of course, if you made any changes since then that you want to keep, you hit the save button there. And now I'm having you save all these programs if you want to find them. Now, there's one thing I noted. If I go over here and grab my web page and make it a little smaller, this menu pops up here that wasn't there at the larger size for some reason, and I can access projects, and in there you can find all of your projects. Also, of course, let me go back, up here under your name, here you can find your profile, and there's a list of your projects there under your profile as well. Okay, so let me just get that back lined up there, just to make the code a little more readable. Good to go. Okay, so everything's all saved. I'm just going to make a new program, which of course loads in a new window, a new tab. So you haven't lost your old program. You can go right back to that if you need to. And here, let's go do a similar exercise real quick. I'm just going to make another point, which is pretty random, to be honest with you. And it'll fit the window there. Pop somewhere inside the window. Got random width and random height. So that's basically generate a random number from 0 to 400 in both cases, because the window is 400 by 400. Okay, so it's made a dot somewhere on the screen. There it is, tiny little dot. Okay, let's make that just a little bit bigger so we can see what's going on, which of course is stroke, weight, yes, and I'll make that about 6, just and there, a little bigger point. So okay, now let's say that I want to make a little bit another one. Okay, so I can just like copy this code now and make another one. There, made more than one point. Another line. Great. Another line. Okay. So I made a bunch of points. Now, if I want to make like 20 or 50 or whatever, then that's going to turn into a lot of code real quick. Now, pretty much anytime you find yourself doing something over and over in code, you can let the computer do the work for you. And so the way we're going to do that is with something called a for loop. Now, we're going to make a variable for counting how many times we're going to be in the loop, basically. I'm going to go var count equals 0. Okay. And then var count equals 0. And then, now to make a for loop, it's calling a for function, basically, that you're going to pass some parameters into, and then it will do whatever is inside the loop specified number of times, basically. Let me just put that on a new line, and here we're going to have it draw a point, a random number of times. Random point, specified number of times there. Clean that up, but there, okay. So I can have my variable there to begin with, but what a lot of people do traditionally, of course, is to just declare the whole thing right inside the for loop, like that. Actually, traditionally, they use I. Why everybody uses I traditionally is probably because way back in the early days of programming, some computer professor had some example, and he had already used var A, var B, var C, etc., and that was all that was left for the example. So he just, I is what everybody's used ever since, But I kind of like to I like descriptive variable names, even in my for loop. Okay, well, hope I made my point, whatever. And okay, so you got your variable in there, and then you're going to say how many, or how many times, basically, or in this case, while whatever is in here is true, which is going to be while count is less than a certain value, which I'll just say 3. Okay, and another semicolon, and then my everybody's going to crash, but they fixed it where it doesn't like shut down your program because I haven't completed this yet. It's just telling me it's taking a little too long to run. So sometimes if that happens, you can kind of put a comment in there in the meantime while you're completing your code or whatever, and it won't go freaking out on you so bad. But now it's freaking out about something else. Okay, so let's just complete our line of code. And I'm telling it to increment the value of count here in the third slot by a specified amount. In this case, increasing count by a value of 1. So instead of, say, count equals count plus 1, I can just say count plus plus. There. Okay. Now, there. You see, I've made a for loop which will repeat everything in here a specified number of times. See, so now I can make that 20 there, and I got 20 random dots. Okay, this can also be useful. Let me go back to, say, 10 random dots. Okay, doesn't necessarily have to be some random dots. What's nice about this, I got this variable going here, and I can use it, I can access it, inside the for loop to do various things, like here in X, for instance, if, let's say, I put the variable count in there directly, okay, everything's going to like kind of scrunch up there. But I could say count times a specified amount. What is this? It's I got 10, and I'm 400 across. So say 1 every 40. So count times 40. So okay. So let me do the same thing down here. Copy from here, or actually, I'm just going to make this a static number just to more fully illustrate. See what happens? I got my for loop now is starting at 0, you see, and counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There you go. And then I can use the count value, which is it's starting at 0, then 1 time through the loop, and then it gets incremented first, each time around. So the next time through the loop, count equals 1, and then the next time it equals 2, next time it equals 3. So 1 times the value of count, 40 times 1, starting 40 times 0 is 0. 0 times any number is 0, so it's starting right there, right? You see. So I could just make this value 1, you see, and it's not going to start there at all. It'll start here. There you go. So either. Or if I want to keep, observe, of course, if I increment this, say, by 5, not 50, if I start at 5, I only have a total of 5 here because it's starting 5, and then it's going 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you see, and starting over there like that, see. So, for instance, I'm over here, I want to keep 10, but I want it a little more centered in the screen. Then down here in this part, I'm just going to add a little bit of extra. I'm going to retain the part that says to draw them this far apart, but on top of that, I'm just going to add a little bit more. So like say plus 10, something like that, maybe even a little more than that, just to kind of center it up, oh, that's nice. There. That's actually looks pretty perfectly centered to me. So now I got 10 objects in a for loop repeating across the screen, you see. That's for loops.